Sneaky ways animals survive in the wild. Nature is beautiful and dangerous at the same time. You never know what's going to happen next when you're out in the wild. And when you learn about these animals, you cannot help yourself from feeling intrigued by them. Even today, we're going to talk about some sneaky ways these animals survive in the wild. And trust me, their ways are something that you might have never thought of. First, we will discuss the cowbirds. Cowbirds are members of the Icteridae family and belong to the genus Molothrus. They're obligate brood parasites that lay their eggs in the nests of other species and are native to the New World. The brown-headed cowbird was the type species when the genus was first described in 1832 by English scientist William John Swainson. The name of the genus comes from the ancient Greek words also which means fight or war, and thirst which means desire or to impregnate. The Talara cowbird is an extinct species that was discovered in the Talara tar seeps in northwestern Peru. It presumably went extinct during the late Quaternary. It's possible that it was a close associate of Pleistocene megafauna communities and that it went extinct when their populations collapsed. Non-parasitic baywings were previously included in this genus, but they have since been reclassified as agiloids. This genus of birds is known for laying its eggs in the nests of other birds. When a possible host bird lays its eggs, the female cowbird notices and deposits her own egg in the nest when it's left unattended for a short time. After depositing eggs, the female cowbird may continue to inspect the nest. Some bird species have evolved the ability to recognize parasitic eggs and may reject them by pushing them out of their nests. Nevertheless, the female cowbird has been recorded attacking and destroying the remaining eggs of such birds, as a result, preventing additional removals. In a mafia-like competition between cowbirds and other species, widespread predatory behaviors in cowbirds could impede the evolution of rejection responses and further threaten populations of some of the more than 100 species of typical cowbird hosts, encouraging host acceptance of parasite eggs. Now, if they aren't raised by their own species, then how do they recognize their own species? Well, there is an interesting take on this, and there's a very simple answer to this. They use the password. Yes, you heard me right. They use passwords. Now, you would ask what kind of password? Well, this password is a unique sound that they make. These passwords were discovered by Mark Hauber, a Hunter College psychologist based in Manhattan. Hauber began his search for the password by looking for visual clues in the cowbird's plumage. Still, he soon discovered that cowbirds as young as 5 days old responded to a vocalization known as chatter. Female cowbirds make the sound largely as a territorial show and in reaction to male songs that they perceive to be sexy. Chatter is a common occurrence and a good predictor of where a cowbird flock will be found. Hauber had figured out how to get into his account. This chatter password couldn't be a learned behavioral cue. It had to be programmed into the cowbirds at birth by its very nature. According to Hauber, there needs to be a brain area that encodes for this password. Without that, it won't work. When you think about the conclusion of how fascinating this is, a little bird that is just 5 days old has a mechanism to communicate with the other birds of its species. And it's not something that this bird learns by observing. This is something that is wired in its brain, something that has been there since the day it hatched out of its egg. And if you find this amazing, then stick by because we have more fascinating things that Mother Nature gave us. Next, we have zebra. Now you might be thinking about what can be so fascinating about zebra. I mean, we have known about them since kindergarten. Well, the most fascinating thing about zebras is their stripes. Now they might look like they're of no use, but they're of great use. At first, the strips work as camouflage. So how does the camouflage work when the stripes are a different hue than the green in their surroundings? The black and white stripes merely serve as a guide for us to locate the zebras when we look at them with our eyes. It only makes spotting the zebra simpler. To answer this topic, we must first identify the creatures that prey on zebras. Lions, hyenas, cheetahs, and African wild dogs all hunt on zebras. Because these predators are all colorblind, the black and white stripes in zebras are less noticeable because the predators can't tell the difference between the colors when looking at them from afar. The pattern of the zebra stripes is the most crucial aspect. The stripes on the zebras are vertical and go from top to bottom. Because zebras live in a tall grass environment, their patterns and stripes aid in camouflage and allow them to blend in with the tall grass. The camouflage pattern is far more essential than the color. If a zebra is standing stationary in similar conditions while hiding from those predators, a lion may entirely overlook it. Zebras frequently roam in vast herds, staying quite near to one another. Even with their camouflage pattern, a big group of zebras would be unlikely to escape a lion's attention. However, their stripes allow them to take advantage of their big size. The pattern of each zebra's stripes merges in with the stripes of the zebras around it when all the zebras congregate in a large group. The lion is perplexed because instead of several individual zebras, he finds a big moving striped mass. The lion can't seem to select just one zebra, so it doesn't have a viable attack strategy. It's difficult for the lion to tell which way each zebra is traveling. Consider the contrast between pursuing a single animal and dashing into a swarm of creatures moving in all directions. Their strips have one more use, and that is to save them from getting bit by flies. There was a study with a zebra and the horses. Flies were drawn to zebras just as much as they were to horses in the study, demonstrating that stripes do not prevent flies at a distance. However, once they get close to the zebras, they tend to fly past or bump into them. CARO, a professor in the UC Davis Department of Wildlife, Fish and Conservation Biology, explained, "This suggests that stripes may interfere with the fly's ability to land safely. When compared to the rates at which flies landed on the white and black jackets, the striped coats receive very few flies. When flies get close enough to perceive them with their low-resolution vision, stripes may dazzle them in some manner," he added. See how these simple stripes help zebra in two ways, and these stripes are the reason for their survival. Now we have to talk about something that flies and something that walks on land. The next one should be pretty obvious to you all. It's something that swims, the most dangerous predator in the sea. We have sharks, but not just any shark, a shark that can glow in the dark. A group of international scientists discovered that the kitefin shark, as well as two other deep sea shark species, the black belly lantern shark and the southern lantern shark, exhibit bioluminescent qualities during a 2020 cruise near Chatham Rice off the eastern coast of New Zealand. The three shark species live in the ocean's mesopelagic zone, also known as the twilight zone, which is between 200 and 100 meters deep. Only a sliver of sunlight reaches this spot, giving it a dull blue hue. The majority of bioluminescent marine animals have specific compounds such as LUCIFERIN, which reacts with oxygen to produce light. The researchers note that while these three sharks don't appear to have the same chemical qualities, their ability to emit light remains perplexing. For the time being, Balafet added, "Our conclusion is that sharks may have a new component that is unknown. However, we have no idea. While there's still much to learn about these deep sea sharks, the researchers believe that their capacity to create bioluminescence could be employed to find food, attract partners, or conceal themselves in their environment's weak blue light. How they glow is still a mystery, but hopefully we'll be able to figure it out someday. But until then, we can just sit back and wonder how fascinating these creatures are."